Welcome guys, it is championship racing once again here at SARCO. This time we're in the open class, open setup, GT3s. We start off our 6-round championship here at the Man Bugatti circuit in France. We have 25 laps. There are clouds around, but it should clear up as the race and 2 lobbies. Enjoy the highlights of lobby 1. So we take a look at the starting lineup for this first race of the season. In 14th place is Synergy Racing driver Rudy in car number 177, and Rudy has the red mirrors on his BMW M6. 13th place is Tornado Force Jared. He's in the 66 Lamborghini and unfortunately misses his partner for the race this evening. We move forward to row number 6, and Yolan with Synergy Racing is in the 176 BMW and he has the black mirrors. 11th place is Tosco 2 driver Gerard. He is in the 28 Audi and he unfortunately misses his partner for this race. Moving forward to row number 5, in 10th place is the Turbo Turtle Racing Jacques S, and he is in the yellow 38 Bentley. Lined up against him is the 9th place Project Cat Racing Jacques V. He is in the 157 Lamborghini and Jacques has the yellow decal over the driver's side. Move up to row number 4, and TTR driver Dupi. He's in the white 37 Bentley and he lines up against Project Cat Racing's Ross. He's in a 158 Lamborghini and he has the red decal over the driver's side. We move forward to row number 3, in the black Mamba Dylan. He's in the 14 Audi and he has the green mirrors on his Audi. In 5th place is the Silverback Racing's Morris. He's in the 185 Cadillac and he has the black roof decal. Row number 2, in 4th place is the black Mamba Jakes. He's in the 12 Audi and he has the black mirrors on his car. Line up against him is a Tosca 1 driver Durkee in the 9 Audi and he has the blue trim. Moving forward to row number 1, and 2nd place is the Silverback driver Bruno. He's in the 186 Cadillac with the yellow roof decal and he lines up against our pole sitter Charles from Tosca 1. Charles will be in the number 6 Audi with the red trim. So as we wait for these green lights to go off here, race number 1 for the season. Bruno's got a great start coming off the line and so has Jakes, moving himself ahead of Durkee. Dylan side by side with Marius as they prepare to go into turn 1. Through a Dunlop curve, everyone seems to be finding their positions. Hard on the brakes into the Dunlop chicane. Charles run himself a little bit wide. Little contact there between himself and Jakes. Bruno leading, coming down into Chappelle. Oh, great move there by Charles to take back that 2nd place. A little bit of a lag there by Jakes, but he is come back. So we have Bruno leads with Charles 2nd. That's Jakes up into 3rd. Great move there by Morris, going on the inside to move himself up into 4th. Little contact there between, that is Durkee and Marius. That's Dylan in 5th. Ross is in 6th. Then we have the Bentley, little oversteer there by Durkee. Just turning in a little bit too soon onto that turn number 6 on that exit. Then here through Shemin Abu. My French is not very good, so I'll call them turn 7 and 8. So it seems that everybody has made it clear through this first lap. Exiting out of turn number 9 now to go through to Raccordement, turn number 11. So we jump on board with Dupi in the Bentley. He's chasing right in front of him. That is Ross, and in front of Ross is Dylan as they cross the line to begin lap number 2. Just behind Dupi we have Jacques Vermeulen, who has joined Ross in Project Cat. Oh, there goes Jacques. Little spin out there. So we have Gerard. Oh, he has two, has just spun. I was just going to say that Gerard has now moved himself up a position, but unfortunately he is now spun coming out of the Dunlop chicane. So here we have the battle for 5th, 6th and 7th position. Into turn number 5. La Moussie, or translated to the museum. Into the braking point here, turn number 6. So we just jump further back and we have in shot Jacques V versus Jacques S. We take a look at what's happening in the positions. So Bruno leads now on lap number 5 with Charles in a 2nd place. Jakes is 3rd. Dirkie, he's in 4th place with Marius 5th, Ross 6th, Duppy 7th, Dylan in 8th, Jacques V in 9th, Jacques S in 10th. Then we have Gerard in 11th, Jolan in 12th. Rudy has just lost a place. Rudy has just got that place back to Jared, and Jared in a 14th position. So we just head further up the field where we have in shot Amara's currently in 5th place. He's starting to close Dirkie down in that Audi. Or Dirkie goes a little bit wide. That's allowed Marius to get right up behind him. It looks like Dirkie got a much better exit out of that turn number 6. We'll just chase this action as they go through the 7 and 8. I did mention before, you have to be very careful running on that runoff, because that curb, it definitely does tend to grab your car and pull you wide, and you get stuck with a slowdown penalty for your problems. Much tighter line there by Marius. Will he have the run on Dirkie going down this start-finish line? Marius having a look around the outside. Dirkie goes defensive. Marius just backs off ever so slightly. But will he try the undercuts? Dirkie saw him coming and he just closed that line for Marius. We'll just chase them coming down the hill, but this little tussle between these two drivers has allowed Ross to start closing that gap between them. This is a great shot of 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8th place. You can just see how close these guys are contested at the moment. Whoa, big oversteer there by Duppy in that Bentley. You can see how Duppy's just throwing that Bentley around. He really is manhandling it. Duppy got a great drive coming out of that last corner. And it seems that Marius is starting to put away a little bit of a more comfortable gap from Ross. But we'll definitely come back and catch this action a little bit later. We jump back to the leaders and we can see that Charles is starting to put some pressure here on Bruno. Just want to have a quick look at the current standings. So Bruno leads with Charles in 2nd place. Jakes is still 3rd. 3 seconds behind this group. Dirkie, he's in 4th place with Marius a 2nd behind him. In 6th place is Ross with Duppy in 7th. Dylan is 8th. Jacques V is in 9th place with Gerard moving his way back up into 10th. Jolan, he's in 11th place with Jacques S in 12th position. Jared is down in 13th place and Rudy in 14th position. So entering into the last corner, we see the Audi of Dirkie, Cadillac of Marius, the Lambo of Ross. Just behind him was the Bentley in Duppy and Dylan in the Thrustmaster colors in the Audi. So across the line to begin lap number 9 of 25. So Marius going a little bit deep into turn number 2. That's allowed Ross to get a right up behind him. Coming into turn number 4, Le Chapelle. Dylan, he's also closed that gap up right behind Duppy. Into turn number 5, you want to take a nice tight line. That was not how you wanted to do that. You can see how Ross landed up going a little bit wide there. I'm not sure whether he'll actually get a slowdown penalty for that. But Dylan right on the back of Duppy there. You'll see how close these 4 drivers currently are in this race. A few more laps to go, then we will reach halfway. See, Dylan's really starting to put pressure on Duppy. He moves to the inside here for turn number 9, but decides against that move right at the end. Morris really attacking that curb coming into turn 11. Little oversteer there for Duppy. We've jumped to Dylan as he goes through Le Chapelle. Oh, Morris has run himself a little bit wide. That's allowed Ross to move ahead of him into the braking zone. So that puts Ross now into a 4th place. Morris is 5th. Duppy is in 6th with Dylan down in 7th. Ross goes very defensive. Oh, a little tag on the back of Duppy there from Dylan. Little flash of the lights there. Dylan saying that he was sorry, did not mean that. He just carried a little bit more speed going into that braking zone. Little lock up there by Morris as he hit the brakes to go into turn 7. Much wider line there for Duppy coming through turn number 9. Morris trying to get that downforce as they cross the line. We'll take a look at the positions here on lap number 10. So Bruno, he still leads with Scholl right on his tail. Jakes is in 3rd place with Dirkie in 4th, Ross 5th, Marius 6th, Duppy 7th, Dylan 8th, Jacques down in 9th place, Gerard in 10th with Jacques VS in 11th, Jolan in 12th, Jazz, which is Jared in 13th place, and Rudy down in 14th position. So we jump to the front of the pack. That is Bruno in 1st place, Charles in 2nd. That was Jakes in the green car. He's in 3rd. Charles has really closed this gap down here on Bruno as they come through turns 7 and 8. A very tricky chicane. That 7 and 8 is you got to be so precise or you will be given a very strict time penalty if you cut any of the corners. So Scholl decides to go into the pits. I just want to jump to Scholl quickly just to see who will actually go past him. We jump to the 5th place driver, Ross, as we pan around to see if Morris is still behind him. Oh, there goes Morris there. So Ross has decided to take the pits. There's a Duppy in the background. Dylan too has followed Ross into the pits. Let's just go ahead. We see that Scholl is currently in the pit still. This seems to be a very long stop here for Scholl. Let's just pan around here so we can see behind Ross's car. So Scholl has completed his pits. There Scholl goes. Dylan, he too has completed his pits. So Dylan now leaves the pit lane ahead of Ross. We'll just bring up the times. Unfortunately, the times are not accurate, so that's really going to help us. But Ross will now come back into this race behind Jazzman. That was Jacques in the yellow Bentley. Dylan having a little look on the inside here in turn number 4. Yolen going very wide. That's allowed Dylan to actually take that pass quite easily. A little flash of lights as appreciation. Not sure whether Yolen had actually let him go by or whether that was a mistake. But still a great racing and respect all round. So in shot our race leader Bruno, coming to the end of lap number 12. Whoa, makes an extremely late decision to decide to go into the pits. Let's just jump to Jakes. Jakes, he too goes into the pits. Jump to Dirkie. Dirkie also makes a late entrance into the pits. We now jump to Marius. So Marius, he holds his course and he will cross the line to become the new leader of this race here, beginning lap number 13. So we catch Dirkie as he goes into the pit lane. There's Bruno in that Cadillac. He's now done with his pit stop. That is Duppy in the Bentley for TTR. He now makes his stop. Just in front of Dirkie, that's Jakes. He's done with his stops. Dirkie is done with his stop. That is the red and white Audi of Scholl. So we chase Dylan as both Jakes and Dirkie exit the pits. Coming into turn number 1, will there be space around the outside? Dylan positions himself, now takes that inside line, going into turn number 2 and 3. But this battle is not over just yet. Dirkie is right behind Dylan as they go down into turn number 4. That was extremely close. Dirkie having a look on the inside. But Dylan getting the quicker run. Approaching turn number 6. Just ahead, that's Jakes, and just behind him, that's Jacques in that number 37 Bentley. We see in the background, that's Ross. He's now made his move ahead of Yolen, and just behind Yolen is Jared. Coming into turn 7 and 8. Well, Dylan's got the rear, he's gone around. Dirkie's just missed him. Ross goes past, Yolen goes past, and Jared goes past. Great pit strategy for Dylan, and not a great execution in the end. So this is our race leader Marius. He's coming into turns 9, turns number 10. All the drivers behind him have already pitted, so Marius, he will now break away. We see in the background, that was the Bentley of Jacques. So Marius, he goes to take his pits. So we just jump to the second place, and that is Bruno crossing the line to begin lap number 15. He'll now take the lead away from his silverback teammate. We'll just bring up the position. So Bruno will lead with Scholl in second, Jakes third, Dirkie in fourth, Ross fifth, Yolen in sixth. Marius would have been in 7th, Dylan 8th, Duppy 9th, Jared 10, Jacques in 11th, Rudy 12th. That is Jacques Vermeulen in 13th and Gerard in 14th position. So in shot is the 5th placed Yolen, followed by Dylan for the Black Mambas, then Duppy for TTR, Marius for the Silverback Racing, and just behind them is Jazz for the Tornado Force. Duppy getting very close to Dylan as he came out of La Chapelle. Into turns, whoa, little tag on the back of Duppy there by Marius. Very unfortunate, and that's allowed Jared to move up 2 places. So Yolan leading both himself and Dylan through turn number 6. Dylan has found himself behind Yolan on the circuit before. Yolan is very tentative through this area into turn number 9. Well, that BMW looked very, very unstable there coming out of turn number 10. A little bit wide there for Yolan. Dylan is able to get that power straight on. You see the straight line speed of that BMW is very quick. Dylan goes around the outside and he makes that move stick. So Dylan moves himself up into 6th position. He's starting to make some way here on Jared. You can see how Duppy is just manhandling that Bentley. It really is looking good here today. Coming into the chicane at turn 7 and 8. Oh, looks like Jared locked up the rears. Whoa, that was extremely close. Jared is spinning around, coming into turn number 8. Unfortunately, losing that rear. We see in the background there, that is Ross's teammate. That's Jacques V. He's now has the advantage of going ahead of Jared and making that place. So a great long distance shot of the 177 driver. This is Rudy, teammate to Yolan for Synergy Racing, approaching turn number 7. Got himself onto the grass. Big power slide there by Rudy. Manages to keep it off the Kittilata, and he'll rejoin the track without any further problems. So further down the track we have another battle that is heating up. This is Marius chasing Jared. We're on lap number 17. Coming into turns number 7 and 8. I think that was a little bit of lag there by Jacques V. Just in the back there, that was Gerard for Tosco 2. Through the last couple of corners, we'll see if Marius will be able to get a slipstream down into Dunlop Curve. Great looking car, that Cadillac. Marius really attacking that apex, and it looked like Jared didn't get his power down as quickly as he wanted to. He did say that he did think he was on the wrong side. That was very close. Jared had gone a little bit wide there. Marius now moves to the what would be the outside for this next turn, in turn number 5. Jared did say that he might have been on the wrong tires, and you can definitely see it here. He's just not getting that drive out of those corners that he would have expected. Little lock up there by Marius, changing down, flames flying. I don't want to give him a commentator's curse, but I think it's only a matter of time till Marius finds his way past Jared. We've just seen the Bentley of Duppy going past. So Marius definitely does seem to be having more pace than Jared, but Jared is not making it easy for him to get past. And while this battle is going on, Jared is now starting to get ever so closer to Jacques. Cross the line to begin a lap number 19. We're on 19 of 25 laps. Well, both Jared and Morris go a little bit wide. I'm not sure if there'll be a slowdown penalty there. This is where Jared went a little bit wide, but he seemed to have sorted out that line. So Jared makes a great move going on the inside of Jacques. Onto the braking zone here at turn 6. Jacques will be on the inside. So will Jared try to go around the outside? No, he tries to cut back. Great defensive move there by Jacques. Great shots of the Bentley hitting that curb coming out of turn number 8. So Morris just seems to have lost that little bit of the advantage and that pressure that he was putting on Jared. But I'm sure Jacques is watching his rearview mirror, seeing that both these guys are coming up extremely fast. Jared will be looking to get the slipstream, go around the outside on a Dunlop curve and put himself on the inside for turn number 2 in the Dunlop chicane. But Jared just tucks in behind Jacques. Both drivers really attacking that apex. Very neat and tidy by both the drivers. Hard into the braking zone. Turn number 5. It's a tricky corner. It's quite tight up in the first part, but then it opens out. So you're really able to get that power on. Will Jed have a look on the inside? No, it's just a little bit too far, but now Morris, he's now making his comeback. While this action is going, I do want to just double check what's happening in the positions. So Bruno leads with Charles in second place. Jakes is third with Durkee fourth. Ross is fifth with Dylan sixth. Dupi seventh. Jacques in 8th, Jared 9, Morris in 10. That was extremely close. I thought he might have been close enough to give him a little tap. Gerard, he's in 11th place with Jacques in, that's Jacques S in 12th, Rudy in 13, and Yolan down in 14th place. Very close action here in the closing stages. Only 5 laps to go of this 25 lap race, I should say. Well, side by side, will Jared be able to go around the outside, coming out of turn number 3? But that puts Jacques now on the inside, going into La Chapelle. Jared tries the undercut, takes a bit of dirt. That definitely would have hampered his ability to get that power down. Morris now tries to go around the outside of Jared. This is extremely close, extremely exciting racing happening right here. That looks like a little opening there for Morris, or Jared got a little bit of a tank slap, and that's allowed Morris to move himself ahead of Jared. But will Jared now have a look going into the chicane? He puts his nose in, but stops in time. And I'll keep wondering whether Dupi knows that this battle is happening behind him, or if he's just looking forward, trying to stay oblivious to it. Race his own race and not get caught up in all this excitement behind him. So across the line to begin lap number 22. We're currently following the action here between 8th, 9th and 10th place. Great shot of that Bentley just bouncing up over the curbs. Morris is fighting with all his might. He now has Jacques Vermeulen in his sights. Oh, Jacques has got the rear sideways. That opens the door there for Marius. Marius is able to get his Cadillac to go through. So now Marius will lead this charge. Great racing there by Marius. Very patient. Looked for that opportunity and he's managed to get himself away from the two Lamborghinis. So that unfortunately is where the footage of the replay ended. So Charles, he will come home to win ahead of Bruno due to Bruno suffering a 1 second penalty. Jakes will finish third with Ross in fourth. Dirkie will finish in fifth place with Dylan in sixth. Duppy 7th place with Marius in 8th. Jacques Vermeulen in 9th place with Gerard in 10th. Jacques S will come home in 11th place, Jolan in 12th, Rudy in 13th, and unfortunately we lose Jared due to a disconnection. Thank you very much guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, give our video a like, subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to activate that notification icon. Should you want to find out more, don't forget to visit our website or Facebook page. All the information will be in the description below. And we'll be back in 2 weeks time for round number 2. Thanks for watching, yos.